Hey y'all, welcome to Veggie Farm. I'm Stacy. I've made a few changes and I'm excited to show you how my garden is looking in May.
I take care of you. I will.
Right here on the deck box outside of the door, I have a couple different kind of herbs. There's two different thymes in the back. There's some orange thyme, the smaller one. Grew that from seed. There's some mandarina lemon balm. There's also lemon mint there. And then in the green stalk, I have a couple different kinds of beans at the top. There's some Chinese long beans. And then at the bottom, I have some garlic that's almost ready to come out. So let's swing around here and look at the patio raised beds. And right here on the pole, that's some broadleaf thyme, also called Cuban oregano. And I started that in the house, so I've been growing that for a while. And then there's some bee balm that almost wanted to take over the bed. And this is how the mullein is looking in its second year. So I'm excited to see that center stalk that should be coming up. There's some valerian and there's some horehound. It's pretty small and feverfew. And then right here in the back, there's some dandelion greens that also actually have grown a stalk. And it looks like they're going to flower. It's a little vine. And then right here, I have a bed full of carrots. And then there's another herb called motherwort. And then right here in the front, those are some elderberry plants. And there are 3 of those. In front of the elderberry, I have my rosemary and my lavender. And then right over here was my onion bed. And so that's a mess, and it's a long story that has a whole video of its own coming. So right over here in this Vigo garden bed is like my catch-all bed for herbs. I grew a lot of herbs indoors in my AeroGarden, and I transplanted them all out into this bed. I also have some random extra plants I have some strawberries in there. And you can see there's some mullein and there's some onion around the sides and also garlic. There's some zinnias and calendula in there also. And this is my strawberry tower. And I have some netting over it, which is just a tree netting that happened to actually slide right over top. And I've cut the top one out because I wanted flowers at the top. And then right over here, I have some coleus that I grew from seed. And there's an elephant ear bulb. And in here, there's some calendula and basil and nasturtium. And it's been pretty hot, so all of those are about ready to go. So at the beginning of this bed, there's eggplant that I recently transplanted out. There's Turkish orange, Thai lavender frog eggplant, and a black beauty eggplant. My eggplant have been struggling this year. I'm still dropping more seeds. And this is a Cubanelle pepper, and then ancho poblano pepper, a serrano pepper, and then in the back, a giant Marconi pepper. And then we have cayenne pepper, and then a monster bell pepper in the back. And all of those are starts that I purchased. And right here in the center, there's a fall gold raspberry plant, plantain, and some lemon balm. There's some calendula in this pot. So this bed has all the peppers that I started from seed, and I placed onions all around the outside. This is a habanada pepper in the front, and then a cayenne pepper. And this one is a Jimmy Nardello pepper. And that's an Ozark pepper in the back. And then we have Lesia pepper. See if you can see those peppers. They have a unique shape. And then that's a paprika pepper. There's a purple bell pepper. And then behind the purple bell pepper is another cayenne pepper. And then on the edge here, there's another Lesia pepper. And then behind the Lesia, there's a grande jalapeno. This little bed just has some leftover things in it. There's onions all around the outside. There's some kale and some chamomile. And this container has some cuttings that I got from Dan Food Forest all around the outside, Lipia alba. And in the center, there's some cinnamon basil. And these are all my elephant ear bulbs, a couple in the pots and then some in the ground. In this bed, I have some purple bok choy, there's some ginger and some turmeric. And then this huge green, these are chicory greens. And I have some garlic in here. And there's some rainbow Swiss chard. And this bed gets a little more shade than anywhere else in the garden, so I'm trying to grow the leafy greens in there. And this is my Jamaican sorrel hibiscus, and it's doing well in that in-ground pot so far. And then right over here along the back fence is where I keep all of my trees. And we'll start out right here with the burdock. And it is starting to suffer in the summer sun. It likes it a little cooler. And then back here I have some dahlias that are about to bloom. And these two trees are combination cherry trees, and I named them Tia and Tamara. And then this is a hibiscus plant that my husband brought home. He found that at Kroger. And right here is a pink lemonade blueberry plant. And this is a Meyer lemon that's trying to bounce back after losing its leaves this winter. So this is another raspberry plant, and those are actually called double gold raspberries. And that's a black mission fig tree and an Olympia fig. And those are more blueberries. I don't know the name of that. And this is my Miwa kumquat tree that I up-potted this spring, and it's doing pretty good. And those are more dahlias. I have some elephant ears in the back, some hostas that I dug up from the front yard, a couple of mint plants, and this is some strawberry corn that I just planted. And these are two columnar apple trees. I think they have some kind of disease. I wasn't even sure if they were going to come back this year, but I'm working on trying to get those healthy. And then in this corner, I have my compost bin, and I have a bin that I was going to make some super juice in, or compost tea. In this corner, I have a group of pots, which is a new area that I created. And I'm trying some in-ground planting over here. I planted some elderberry cuttings from my pots in the front. So over here in the back, I have a moringa tree. And then next to it, I have some lemongrass that I started from seed. And then these are sweet pea flowers. I've had a hard time getting those started, but hopefully I'll get some flowers because I really want some seeds from that. In these front pots, I had 4 different squash plants. Now the squash vine borer has already taken out one, and another looks like it's on its way as well. So I forgot to label them. The only one I did label was this first one here, and it's a rugosa squash. So I'm not sure how long any of those are going to last at this point. And now what I'm most excited about is my new bed. And I'm going to show y'all around everything I have planted in it. Right here in the front, I have some teddy bear sunflowers, and this is a pepper called the jigsaw pepper. And this is the Pippin Golden Honey, and I got those seeds from Flipside Marketplace from Turf Therapy. And then some marigolds, and a grande jalapeno pepper. And then over here I have a Tabasco pepper, and just some more marigolds in the corner. And there's some more cinnamon basil back there also. There's a couple different kinds of marigolds, and there's another pepper called Aji Kachuka. I think that's how you pronounce it. And then right here in the front, I tried to tuck in some radish at the last minute to see if they could make it being shaded from the sun a little bit. And then this is where I have all of my tomatoes. I have tomatoes on the front and back of this trellis. So the tomatoes that I'm growing this year are the pineapple tomato, yellow brandywine, Dad's Sunset, Great White, Green Zebra, Dr. Witchies, and Paul Robeson, and that's on the front. And so in the back I have Sun Gold, Orange Peach, Black Strawberry, Green Giant, White Cherry, and Pink Fang. And this is a new pepper that I'm growing this year. I think it's called a Calugaritza hot pepper. It looks just like the Lesia pepper, except this one is a hot pepper. And this is a cucumber that I didn't label, so I'm not sure what kind it is. Have some more teddy bear sunflowers and some zinnias. And then I have a couple more peppers over here. This one is a Sugar Rush peach pepper. And then next to it is another giant Marconi pepper. I have a couple other flowers tucked around in the corner. There's some echinacea, more marigolds, and I have onions all around the corner. So I'm excited about this new space. It gives me much more area to grow in. And then right over here in the corner, I have my pineapple sage plants. I'm going to give you all one last look around the garden, and hopefully you'll come back and watch how it changes throughout the seasons. Thank you so much for watching. Happy growing.